Okay, honors geometries, here we go. Given W, X, Y, and Z are midpoints of the respective sides of quadrilateral ABCD, prove that quadrilateral WXYZ is a parallelogram. So first thing I see is this word midpoints, right? So I need to find the midpoints. Notice I have the new figure drawn, and it almost looks like a rhombus, right? But again, we're just going parallelogram. Okay, so let's go ahead and find the midpoints. So I'm going to do that down here using the midpoint formula. So remember, the midpoint formula is you add the x's, divide by 2, add the y's, divide by 2. And I'm going to go ahead and type it all out, I think, or maybe, no, maybe I'll do the work and then I'll write down the answers. Okay, that's what I'll do. So to find W, I'm going to do 0 plus 2a. So again, W is along AB. So I'm using A and B. Divided by 2, and then 0 plus 2b divided by 2. So then that's going to be 2a over 2, and 2a divided by 2 is just a, and that'll be 2b divided by 2, and 2b divided by 2 is just b. So there's the coordinates of W. To find x, we'll use b and c. So that'll be 2a plus 2c divided by 2, and then 2b plus 2d divided by 2. Well, because everything has a 2, you can cancel out all the tools, and that's just going to be a plus c for the x term. And then same thing here, cancel out the 2's, b plus d for the y term. Okay, y. So for y, I'll use c and d. So that's going to be 2c plus 2e divided by 2. And then 2d plus 0 divided by 2. So for y, again, the 2's canceled. That'll just be c plus e. And over here, the 0 doesn't matter. The 2's canceled. That'll just be d. And then I'll do z up here. So for z, I'm going to use d and a. So that'll be 2e plus 0 divided by 2, and 0 plus 0 divided by 2. So z is going to be, the 0's canceled, the 2's canceled, that's e. And then 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 divided by 2 is 0. So I'm going to take a picture of that, and I'll write all that down in down below using the math type. Okay, so down here, so this is the midpoints. And you don't have to, that's just me trying to be organized. So I found that W, AB, I found that X was A plus C, A plus C, B plus D. I found that Y was C plus E and D. Again, I'll go ahead and put a space in between here. And then I found that Z was E comma 0. Okay, there we go. So there's my midpoints. So now I want to show that WXYZ is a parallelogram. So in my opinion, I'm going to use the definition of a parallelogram, which says show that the opposite sides are parallel. And if I want to show things are parallel, I need to use the slopes. So to use the slopes, we'll use the slope formula, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so again, I'll do the work up here, and then I'll write them down in the box below. So to find the slope of wx, so slope of wx, I'm going to use x minus w. So y, b plus d, so this is my y and y, x and x. B plus d minus b, and then a plus c minus a. Up top, the b's cancel, that's d. On bottom, the a's cancel, and that's c, so d over c. Slope of xy. So to do xy, let's go with, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go, again, here's my y, here's my x, here's my y. So let's go d minus. Now watch what I do now. Because the b plus d is a binomial following a minus sign, notice I put it in parentheses. It's important. And then c plus e minus. And again, because a plus c will come next, parentheses. So that really is D minus B minus D and C plus E minus A minus C. So the D's cancel, that's negative B. And in the bottom, the C's cancel, and that's E minus A. Okay. So let's go ahead and write those two things down. And then I'll give myself some time to, some space. Okay. So I did that there. So down below here, so now I'm finding the slopes. So I just found the slope of Wx. And it was it was D divided by C. And I found the slope of xy, and it was negative b divided by e minus a. Okay, and now let's take a look at yz next. So again, if I'm going to find the slope of yz, so let's do this y minus that y and this x minus that x, so I don't have to subtract a binomial, right? So we're going to do d minus 0 and c plus e minus e. Again, just make it easier on yourself so you're not subtracting binomials. So this is just d over the e's cancel, and there's c. And then to find the slope of zw or wz, right? Slope, not w. So the slope of wz, again, I will just use this y minus this y and this x minus that x. So I'm going to do 0 minus b over e minus a. 0 minus b is negative b. E minus a is e minus a. Now you might have said, well, Mr. Chappell, why didn't you do b minus 0? Because minus 0 is going to make that a positive b, and a minus e. Well, it's the idea of I knew what I was looking for. I was looking for this. If I would have gotten this, you might have been confused. But these are actually the exact same thing, because this negative sign can be distributed to the bottom to make this positive b over. It'd be negative e plus a, which is positive b over a minus e. It's exactly the same thing. But again, I knew what I wanted. I wanted negative b up top. So that's why I did it that way. But as you can see, once I write these down, we did get the exact same slopes, right? If you look down here. So now we know that the slope of yz equals, and I got, again, d divided by c. And the slope of w or zw or wz equals, and I got negative b divided by e minus a. It's the exact same thing up above. So what does this show? This shows that segment wx is parallel to segment y. Oh, I'm sorry, yz, and segment xy is parallel to segment ZW. And because those are true, you have two pairs of parallel sides. I spelled parallel right? I don't think so. Parallel, right? Parallel, right? Parallelogram. Yeah, parallel. And because of that, W, X, Y, Z is a parallelogram. I always put it in all caps because I'm so excited. Okay. So you can hopefully you followed that. Again, with you can write on a piece of paper. It might be a little less clunky than with me having to write it on the screen, take a picture, all that fun stuff. Okay. But try to use the math type. If you don't want to use the math type, again, it's fine. You can just use the plain language as well. Okay, for sure. All right, last one coming up.